What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and I've officially been on hormone replacement therapy for 7 years. So that's right, 7 years ago. So if you've been watching this channel since the beginning, it's been 7 years, guys. It's a long time. I started this channel in 2009, in February, I believe, and I started hormones on October 30th of 2009. So now it is November 2nd. But if you follow me on Instagram, which you should be, or Facebook, which you also should be, you probably saw the 2 transitional photos I put up, just kind of documenting where I started and kind of where I'm at now. Those are always really cool, and one of the main reasons I even started this channel was to just kind of document my own physical transition as well as my mental and emotional transition. So it was really cool. Thank you for all the support. It got, like, you know, those photos got a lot of shares. They obviously touched a lot of people, and hopefully encouraged some of you guys who feel a little lost or feel like you'll never get to where you want to be. And also hopefully those images kind of opened up conversation for some people who maybe didn't know what being transgender was. I wrote down a few topics that I'm gonna kind of touch on about 7 years on T. You know, they say every 7 years your whole body regenerates, right? So I'm kind of like a whole new person from when I started hormones. And you know, is that true? In a lot of ways it is, in a lot of ways it isn't. I went on a hike with some friends to celebrate my 7 years, and then we got burgers and fries and ice cream, and it was great. A lot of them asked me, like, so how does it feel to be 7 years on T? I had a really great conversation with my friend Lee, and we were just talking about, like, what is it like for me, you know? What's the difference between 7 years ago and today, right? And it's just like a birthday, right? Like, nothing specific. You never feel any different on that day, right? But you feel different overall. Like, things have changed for sure, and not just physical, you know what I mean? But you know, I really sat with this question, and I thought to myself, like, you know what? Actually, I'm really, like, I'm 50-50 on how I feel. I feel great, right? And not 50 good and 50 bad, just 50-50. You know, this is how I kind of feel 7 years. I feel like in the beginning of my transition was all up here. It was all in my head. It was, you know, how I viewed myself, how I saw other people viewing me, how I felt based on how I saw what I saw in the mirror, and you know, and my recollection of who I truly am based on what's being shown into me in the mirror. So my transition was all in my brain, and then I got on hormones. And not to say my transition switched from my brain to my body, but all of a sudden it was very much about my body, and it was almost like my brain was male, my body was female. So I was taking these hormones to kind of speed up my body to catch up with my brain. And now that is 7 years, I almost feel like, you know, my body has caught up, and kind of now it's surpassed my brain, right? So at first my transition was in my head, and then my transition, you know, was very, you know, it was hard to see because it was intangible in my mind, and then it became very tangible when I started hormones. People around me were viewing me different. I was looking in the mirror, feeling more connected to the person I felt. I feel I truly am, looking back at me. And now I'm kind of at this point where my body has truly surpassed my brain now. So it's like my brain was ahead and my body caught up, and now my body is surpassing and my brain is kind of left behind. And when I say that, it's in the context of, like, my body has transitioned so quickly in 7 years. I mean, I was just looking back, like, even just from when I started T to a year, I was totally different looking. My mind is still, like, not quite there yet, right? So I'm in this body, I'm a white male in society today. You know, people see me as like a bro, you know, and this is just looking at me, right? Because I think if you talk to anybody, if you actually watch these videos, like you know, as a thing, as entertainment for you, as education for you, you'll see that, like, these are not who, you know, my body is not who I am. But, you know, a lot of people will just, you know, everyone's guilty of it. Like, you just see and then you assume, right? And so, a lot of people like see me as like this white guy, you know, I'm a male, I have privilege now, I have, you know, I'm binary looking, and I'm all these things and all these labels that people keep putting on me, right? And in my mind, I'm just like, whoa, 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 wait a second. That's not who I am. Just because the hormones sped up my transition tangibly, that does not mean that it changed my brain. It doesn't mean that I am that guy, white guy with male privilege who's a bro and only cares about going to the gym and rah, 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 right? That doesn't mean that. But it's hard now because now when I'm just out in public and my mouth is closed, people assume a lot of things about me. And in my mind, I'm struggling because I'm like, wait a second, like, I know I'm male, but I was still born in a female body. I was still a lesbian for, you know, 8, 9, 10 years. I was still, you know, I dated women as a woman, and I grew up as a girl. I mean, I played softball. I didn't get to take the garbage out or you know, I didn't get to, like, do the things that boys do. I got to do the things girls do, and you know, I had to wear a dress to church, and you know, so in my mind, I'm like, wait a second, like, yes, I identify as male, and I truly feel I am male inside, but I also feel that I have a lot of feminine energy that I'm not ashamed about, and I really am more about the 50-50. Like, I want 50 masculine energy and 50 feminine energy. You know, that's what I want. That's how it's going to be perfect, you know, I think, personally, for me. And so just because I want my outward body to appear more of the masculine, it doesn't mean that I'm denying this feminine, right? And I think, again, if you talk to me, if you see these videos, I mean, it's very clear that I have both energies available to me, and I pull from both of them. And so, you know, that's what I mean when I say I feel 50-50. I feel like, you know, 50% of it is amazing, and another 50% of it is kind of like, feels a little fast, you know, it feels a little, you know, a little, like my body feels like it's transitioned further than my mind. And so my friend Lee was like, well, like, how does that make you feel? Like, do you feel like you would have done something different, you know? And my thought was, you know what, like, I have no regrets about my transition, but, you know, maybe I would have, taken hormones a little bit slower. But you know what, I can say that now because I have a full beard and I have top surgery. But when I still had my chest and I didn't have a beard, and you know, I didn't look as I look now, I wanted it really quick, you know what I mean? Because my mind was already there, but my body wasn't. So it was just really interesting. It was just a really great conversation, and I thank Lee for having me kind of think of it, and I wanted to share the thought with you guys, because it's like, you know, my mind was transitioned, my body wasn't. Then my body now is fully transitioned, but it's almost like, and again, like, some people can take this and twist it the wrong way, and you know what? There's something I can do about that, because once I put out my information, people twist and turn however they want. But the people who are truly hearing me, I appreciate you for actually listening and hearing what I'm saying and my intention. And so yeah, just like my body has now like over transitioned my mind almost, like, because now I'm just like very masculine, very male, and that's great, that's what I wanted. But my brain is like, everyone's reading me as just this man, and I'm kind of getting frustrated, because I'm like, I'm so much more than that, you know? And it's what a lot of people struggle with in many identities, not just the LGBT. I'm talking all kinds of identities struggle with this, being perceived one thing, but being like, yeah, but that's not who I am. You know, that's not me. That's not my heart. That's not my mind. That's not my soul. So it was really cool, you know? Like, would I have done something different? You know, I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know. I think everyone says, oh, I'd never do anything different, but like, yeah, maybe I would have done 1 or 2 things different, but I would probably still be exactly where I am. I would still have the same feelings, the same thoughts, the same concepts on life, the same beliefs, the same intentions. All that stuff would be exactly the same. But it was a really interesting concept. You know, what do you guys think? You know, if you're in the beginning of your transition, how do you feel? Do you feel like your mind and your body are the same? Are they equal? Do you feel like if you're later on in your transition, do you kind of feel the same way? Do you feel like you keep getting thrown into these boxes and you're just like, well, like, I know that my body is transitioned that way, but like my mind doesn't think that way. Like, I still don't, like, that's not me, right? And I think a lot of people will hear this and be like, oh, so you're not really a man. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, I don't have control over the hormones, and the hormones have transitioned me really quickly and rapidly, and my mind is still kind of catching up to that. You know, my mind is still, you know, my hips, you know, are not large, right? But my mind is still like, my hips are so big, you know? I look like a man. I look like a man, okay? And I still wonder sometimes, like, oh my goodness, like, do I look like a man? You know, or like, you know, so that's, like, my mind is still, like, doesn't feel caught up, you know? So, I don't know. It was just really interesting. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say on this. And I'm gonna have some more, like, 7-year style stuff this whole week. So, my apologies that this video is a little late. But I do have some suggestions on this little piece of paper of things I want to talk about. And also, if you have any questions or topics that you want to talk about that are based on like 7 years on T, or like just a later transition, because I know a lot of you guys are later on T, and I know a lot of you are not on T, and I know a lot of you are in the middle. You know, maybe you just started, maybe you're a year or two on, and I also know some guys who will never be on T. So how does that feel, you know? So it's interesting. I think it's kind of cool to sit back and not hold judgment on myself or other people, but to really just kind of be like, well, this is what it is. You know, this is what the last 7 years have been like, and you know, what does that mean to me? So, I want to share my thoughts with you guys, and I'm going to continue to try to make some more videos about this, and if you have any suggestions, like I said, throw them below, but, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'm very, very happy about my 7 years on T. I feel totally in line with myself. And my only issue is that, again, I'm perceived, my whole past is erased, and because I have this male body, people think that I'm trying to erase the past, and it's like, no, I love my feminine past, it's just, I don't want to be in a female body. That's the big difference there. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I didn't want to talk even this long, but you all know how it goes if you've been on this channel before. So if you haven't been on this channel, hit that subscribe button. And hey guys, if you can help me out, it does help when you guys like this video. So please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thanks for all the love and support. Peace.